Are you amazed at how cool inventions are? Wait till you find out who made them. Let's meet some black geniuses who helped shape our world. Did you know some of the coolest things ever were made by brilliant black minds? Like the traffic light. Thanks to Garrett Morgan, we can cross the street safely. George Washington Carver used peanuts to invent all sorts of amazing things, from paints to plants that help the earth. Mae Jemison reached for the stars. She's the first black woman to travel into space. And Lonnie Johnson? He made the Super Soaker, the ultimate water blaster. But that's just the beginning. Every idea starts with a spark, and maybe the next big inventor is you. Stick around, and let's explore the awesome stories of black geniuses together. Get ready to be inspired, laugh, and learn, because learning about history should be fun.
Madam C.J. Walker was not always known by that name. She was born Sarah Breedlove on December 23, 1867. This was only a few years after the end of slavery in America. Her parents, Owen and Minerva, had been enslaved on a cotton plantation in Louisiana. Sarah was their fifth child, but she was the first one in her family to be born free. Life was very hard for her family. They were free, but they were still very poor. They worked as sharecroppers on the same land where they had once been enslaved. Sarah started working in the cotton fields when she was just a little girl, with little time for school. Sarah's early life was full of sadness and struggle. Both of her parents died before she was 7 years old. She became an orphan and had to move in with her older sister and her husband. It was not a happy home. To escape, she got married when she was only 14 years old to a man named Moses McWilliams. Soon, she had a daughter named Lelia, but her happiness did not last long. Her husband died just a few years later. Suddenly, Sarah was a widow and a single mother at the young age of 20. She knew she needed to build a better life for herself and for Lelia. With her baby daughter, Sarah moved to St. Louis, Missouri. Her brothers were barbers there, and she hoped to find work. For more than a decade, she worked as a laundress, washing clothes for other people. It was backbreaking work. She earned very little money, sometimes just over $1 a day. She scrubbed clothes from morning until night, her hands raw and tired. But she was determined to give her daughter a good education, something she never had. She made sure Lelia went to school and dreamed of a future that was brighter than the difficult present she was living in every single day. During these years of hard work and worry, Sarah started to face a new problem. Her hair began to fall out. This was a common issue for many women at the time. Poor diet, stress, and harsh soaps made from lye caused scalp diseases and hair loss. Sarah felt ashamed and worried. She tried many different products that were available, but nothing seemed to work for her. This personal struggle, this deep sense of desperation, planted a small seed in her mind. It was a seed of an idea that would eventually grow into something bigger than she could ever have imagined, changing her life and the lives of countless others. Sarah's journey into the world of hair care began out of her own deep need. She was losing her hair and felt desperate for a solution. In the early 1900s, she started working as a sales agent for Annie Turnbow Malone, another pioneering African-American businesswoman who had created a line of hair products. Working for Annie Malone taught Sarah about the hair care business. She learned how to mix products and how to sell them door to door. She traveled and saw that so many other black women were suffering from the same hair and scalp problems that she had. This experience gave her valuable knowledge and confidence. Sarah was not just a seller. She was also a student of her own problem. She started to experiment in her own kitchen. She mixed different ingredients and tested them on her own scalp. She wanted to create something that would heal her scalp and help her hair grow back strong and healthy. She prayed for a solution, and she said that the formula for her first product came to her in a dream. She created a special ointment with ingredients like sulfur, which helped heal scalp infections. Her product worked. Her own hair started to grow back, thicker and healthier than before. In 1906, Sarah moved to Denver, Colorado. She married a newspaper advertising salesman named Charles Joseph Walker. He became her business partner and helped her with marketing. It was his idea that she should adopt a more professional name, so Sarah Breedlove became the name the world would come to know, Madam C.J. Walker. This name sounded sophisticated and official. She started selling her first product, Madam Walker's Wonderful Hair Grower. She packaged it herself and began selling it directly to black women in her community, sharing her own powerful story of transformation. Her business started small, right out of her own home. She would cook her hair grower on a stove and then go out to sell it. She didn't just sell a product in a tin, she sold a system. She taught women how to use her products correctly. This was called the Walker system. It included her special ointment, a scalp preparation method, and the use of heated combs. She demonstrated her methods in churches and homes, showing women how they could have healthier hair. She was not just selling a beauty product, she was selling hope, confidence, and a new sense of self-worth to women who were often overlooked. Madam C.J. Walker was a brilliant businesswoman with creative ideas. She knew that to grow her company, she needed more than just a good product. She needed an army of salespeople who believed in her vision. So she started to recruit other black women to become her sales agents. These women were called Walker agents. She offered them a unique opportunity. At a time when most black women could only work as maids or farmhands, Madam Walker offered them a way to earn their own money, run their own small businesses, and gain financial independence. It was a revolutionary idea. She built her business through the power of community and connection. The Walker agents went door to door, not just in cities, but also in small towns and rural areas across the country, and even into the Caribbean. They didn't just sell products, they built relationships. They performed demonstrations in churches, lodges, and women's clubs, which were central to black community life. Madam Walker understood the importance of trust. By having local women sell her products, customers felt a personal connection. They were buying from a neighbor, a friend, someone who understood their needs and their lives. To support her growing team, Madam Walker created a national organization. She held annual conventions for her Walker agents. These were not just business meetings. They were grand events that celebrated the success of her agents. Women would come from all over the country to share stories, learn new sales techniques, and feel a sense of sisterhood and pride. At these conventions, Madam Walker gave out awards not just for the best sellers, but also for those who did the most charity work in their own communities. She was teaching them to be leaders and to give back. Her marketing was also incredibly smart. She put her own face on her products. This was a powerful statement. At a time when advertisements rarely showed black people in a positive light, Madam Walker's image was one of success, confidence, and elegance. She advertised heavily in black newspapers and magazines, showing that she supported the black press. She told her own story again and again, the story of a poor orphan who became a successful businesswoman. This story inspired both her customers and her agents, making them believe that they, too, could achieve their dreams. Madam C.J. Walker's success was not just for herself. As she became wealthier, she believed it was her duty to use her money to help others. She became one of the most important philanthropists of her time. She believed in lifting up her entire community. She gave large amounts of money to support education for African Americans. She funded scholarships at schools and colleges, including the Tuskegee Institute. She knew that education was the key to unlocking a better future for the next generation, and she wanted to give others the chances that she never had as a child. She was also a brave and dedicated activist for civil rights. Madam Walker used her wealth and influence to fight against the deep injustice and racism that black people faced. She spoke out against lynching, a horrific form of racial violence. In 1917, she was part of a delegation of leaders who went to the White House to present a petition to President Woodrow Wilson, urging him to make lynching a federal crime. She donated thousands of dollars to the NAACP's anti-lynching fund, becoming its largest single contributor at the time. She was not afraid to use her voice to demand change. Her generosity touched many parts of her community. She supported black artists and institutions. She helped save the home of the famous abolitionist Frederick Douglass in Washington, D.C. She gave money to build new YMCAs in black communities across the country, providing safe places for young men and women. When she built her magnificent mansion, Villa Lewaro in New York, it was not just a home for herself, it was a symbol. She wanted it to stand as an inspiration to show what a black woman could achieve through hard work and determination, inspiring others to dream bigger. Madam C.J. Walker's story teaches us a powerful lesson. She started with almost nothing but used her creativity to solve a problem. But she did not stop there. She shared her success with others, creating opportunities for thousands of women and using her resources to fight for justice. Her life shows that one person's vision can change the world. By mixing business with a deep sense of purpose and a commitment to helping others, she built more than a company. She built a legacy of empowerment that continues to inspire people to this day, reminding us all that true success is about what we build for ourselves and what we give back to others.